Yeah, I hear you. But what about? What about him? What about her? What about you? Yeah, you slur. I ain't guilty, I'm just loud, pointing fingers in the crowd. What about? Yeah, let's change the topic fast. You say I'm wrong, that's cute, now watch. Expose a mess from your saintly crotch. History's a weapon, context a blade, but nuance died in the Twitter crusade. Deflect it, dodge it, blame it away. Your dirt is okay if theirs didn't pay. Facts ain't facts when the spin's in play. Truth got canceled, welcome to the fray. You got receipts, I got whatabouts. Throw your proof, I'll scream and shout. Who cares who started it first? We weaponize the past till the president's curse. Echo chamber and stereo, rewind that moral scenario. You said that's bad, I save a day, and suddenly guilt just slips away. What about him? What about her? What about you? Yeah, you slur. I ain't guilty, I'm just loud, pointing fingers in the crowd. What about? What? Yeah, let's change the topic fast. Let me teach you the rules of debate. Step 1, never own your mistake. Step 2, point left, yell fraud. Step 3, blame God, blame a meme, blame a pod. Accountability's just a game. If you lose, just rename it blame. Politics is just a loop. Both sides bad, that's the scoop. Climate change, what about war? Racism, but they loot stores. Every argument's a mirror maze. Spin your sins in a brighter glaze. Truth don't matter, clicks do, bro. Welcome to the infinite Deflection show. What about lies? What about pain? What about cycles driving us insane? What about truth locked in a vault while we shout? What about like it's not our fault? They don't want resolution, they want noise, not progress, just red and blue. Scream so hard we lost what's true. 1,000 voices, zero thought. You're not listening, you're waiting to shoot your shot. Debate, nah, it's a scoreboard now. And the truth doesn't trend anyhow. Say your piece, then move that goal. Change the metric, swap the poll. Call them woke, call them fascists too. Label first, then dodge what's true. Your side's crooks, that's old news. My side's saints, win or lose. It's not about being right anymore, it's about making sure they're more wrong than before. What about him? What about her? What about you? Yeah, you slur. I ain't guilty, I'm just loud, pointing fingers in the crowd. What about? What? Yeah, we changed the topic fast. Who's worse? That's the prize. Shiny medals for the best disguise. Truth is bleeding, tied in thread while we tweet whataboutisms from our bed. Gun laws, what about knives? Debt crisis, what about lives? Homeless vets, but drag queens read. Mass shootings, what about weed? Healthcare's toast, schools in flames, but let's fight statues and baby names. Tax dodgers, offshore stash, but what about that? TikTok clash, more comments broke into. Spinning wild on what did they do? No fixes fight, no sides clean, so we all just rot behind our screens. What about him? What about her? What about you? Yeah, you slur. I ain't guilty, I'm just loud, pointing fingers in the crowd. What about? Stop! And when it's all ash and spin, will you ask? What about when it all began?